What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Daniels here, coming at you live yet again in the old Honda Civic. And yeah, you think that's dirt in the side of the car? That's undercoat. Cute. But anyway, so today I want to talk about the app Meetup and my frustrations of Meetup. So, all right, here we go. So a couple things have happened recently. So there was a meetup that I went to twice, this programming one, which is pretty cool. And it was rather unfortunate how this one went, because the first one was pretty good. And basically a bunch of guys just like pull up, like guys, girls, whatever, and they just pull up laptops and everybody just like does their own thing. And they do talk. So the first one I go up and I didn't bring a laptop, but I just sipped a hot chocolate and chatted up everybody. And I was like, well, this is kind of how it should be. Like, you're getting to know a couple people. The second one was the opposite. So I went in and I was like, hey, how's it going? And then my laptop actually wasn't charged, and I was like, oh fuck, right? So I have to go like, oh, this is like in a coffee shop. So I'm like, all right, I gotta go like literally sit in the corner, literally, and get an outlet, and I can charge. And I told them, I was like, hey, like the group, I was like, hey, like I gotta dip over to that side of the room. I'll be a few minutes. And yeah, nobody said anything. I was like, all right. So I was like, whatever. So I went over there and I just watched the group. This is what I did, right? I was like 10 feet away-ish, 15 feet away, and I just watched like a little kid in a candy store. He just looks at all the stuff he can't buy. That's all I did. And I just watched him. And sure enough, not a whole lot was going on. And eventually, I got the laptop charged to the point that I was like, I can rejoin that group. So I got the laptop back, and I was like, hey guys, I'm back. So I just had to charge the laptop. You're like, no big deal, right? Nobody said fuck all. Nobody. And I was just sitting there, like, I was amazed. I was like, man, like, this is fucked. And yeah, I just kind of called it in my head. I was just like, all right, like, I think I should bounce. So I literally just like packed up the laptop and was just like, all right, everyone, I'm getting out, have a good one. And like, nobody said anything. I went up, I got a hot chocolate, and I was like, thanks, bounced, got to the car, went on the Meetup app, left the group immediately. And it was like, yeah, I just, wow. It's really surprising, like, you know, that's just one example. So I've got two more for you. So the second one here, there was an event being hosted. This one really pisses me off, and you'll understand why in a second, I think, or I hope. So a woman is hosting the group. She's the co-host, and there's a main host. And this woman, it was her, another girl, and 4 dudes in total. 6 people, that's all it was. It was actually a pretty small event, in my opinion. So yeah, 6 people are going to this thing, and she's like the co-host, right? So it's a big deal, right? She's running this thing. So the main host, I think, is taking a back seat to it. So he's kind of like, it's kind of like, yeah, she's running the show. Now, the other girl, that she has nothing to do with hosting it. She's just another girl that's like, hey, I'm another girl, and she's a random. She drops out, right, that morning of the event, right? And okay, so it was at a pub. Keep that in mind, that's important. So yeah, so she cancels, this girl cancels for whatever reason. It's like, no big deal, okay? So it's just 5 of us going now. And we're going out for a beer, should be fun. Whole event gets canceled right after. Like within 20 minutes of this girl dropping out. Like, that's no coincidence, okay? So I've got the number of the guy who's the main host, not the co-host, who's the girl, the main guy. I got his like direct phone number. I called him up. I was like, all right, what are we doing? Okay, like this, like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. All right, like, that's what I'm trying to tell him. Like, all right, I was like texting him. I was like, bud, what's going on? What are you doing? Okay, and he tells me, okay, in defense of the group, the woman who's the co-host, okay, she felt like she would be overwhelmed because there would be too many men. There'd be 5 guys. Okay, now listen. This meetup, can't give you too much information about it, but it's for single people, okay? That's what the whole point of the meetup is. It's in the title. It's single fucking people, okay? So, in my opinion, it would be more men showing up. That would just be a thing. Like, you would expect that to happen, okay? And she cancels, all right? Cancels the whole thing. I was like, why didn't the guys just hang out? Right? Why do you dictate? It's like, oh, okay, I don't want to go. It's in a fucking pub. Like, it's not like people are, like, there's no dance floor in this pub. Like, it's literally a pub, That's the whole point of it. You go in, you sit at a table, you eat, and you leave. That's the point. Because you're supposed to go in and just be like, hey, let's just talk. Right? And yeah, that didn't happen. So I was pissed. And this is the nail in the coffin. So, dude, last night, there's one going on. Same idea, bunch of single people going out. Could be a good time. Get a little mingling going. Could get some ladies going there. And sure enough, the host drops. Right? He's like, yo, can't go. You enjoy the night though. Right? And that's respectful. I like that. He's like, yeah, like you enjoy the night. You guys want to go? You can go ahead. And yeah, there's a ton of people started dropping, me included. I got a better offer. And apparently, I think a couple people actually went though. I think a couple people talked amongst themselves, and they got like 3 or 4 of them, and I think they all actually did go out. And good for them. But I'm telling you, I'm fucking sick of it, right? I've been to these groups where like the host doesn't show up. Now, granted, I have met some great people from this app, and I don't regret it whatsoever. Some of my best friends in Halifax are from that group. Like, or not that group specifically, but just like, but like the meetup thing in general. So, what am I saying after this rant? Well, I'm trying to say, I'm going to make my own. Now, I've been talking about this for a while, but the biggest problem is I don't have a name for it. And I'm not going to lie, like getting single people together to go for a meetup does sound actually kind of fun. But I don't want to exclude anyone, and I don't want to make the title too like intense, like you have to be like this age range and single to hang out. So I'm just going to put like, I don't even know. I want it to be like nightlife though, because like I'm doing the 8 to 5 thing now, and it's like a lot of the times, like especially on a weekend or something, I wouldn't mind having a couple beer and going into a pub and getting some random people to come out and enjoy that with, get a bite to eat, get a drink. And I think it's also like the hosting thing. Like I've never hosted like events like that before, right? Like where people are depending on me. But I think it's annoying me is that people keep canceling. They're like last fucking second, and it just annoys me. But you gotta pay for this shit, so I gotta be serious enough that I want to do it. Now I thought about taking over the one that the woman canceled because of she being overwhelmed, because there's already 45 people in the group. But that's my also fear. Like my other fear is like, what if nobody joins? What if I make this fucking thing and it's like nothing happens like the whole month and I get like 4 people? But I think there's an opportunity. I think I'm gonna make the thing and just like schedule something right away, and I'm sure that'll come up. You know, people will start flooding in, and I'll just schedule an event every week. If I did one every week or every weekend, I think people would come out. Like, and it could be anything though, right? It could be like trivia. It could be like events in the city, right? And that would be it. Like when there's an event, we do it, or you know, or nightlife would be more appropriate. Now, there is a group that does that, but it's old people. No offense to old people. That's fucking awesome. Good for you. But it's like, it's just older people, and I want more of a younger demographic. You know, even people in their 30s and 40s is fine. I'm only in my later 20s. But it's like, I want people a little bit more relatable to my age range to be like, hey, like, I can kind of get along with that person and understand where they're at. You know, somebody is like mother of 4 and they're all like the kids are all 25. You know, it's not the best match in the world. I'm not saying I'm like trying to date everyone there, but I'm saying male or female, it's got to be like, hey, like I want people to try to be able to get along with each other, and you got to cap that age range. And I'm wondering, because I don't know, like it could be like a casino night. And I think what I would want to do, and I'm sorry that I'm rambling here so long, but it just has to happen. I think what I would want to do too is I would want to get user input would be the biggest thing, right? I'd be putting out like polls, like, hey, like, what you guys want to do? Like, is this a pub group? What day works for people? Are you guys more of nights or mornings? What do you know, should I schedule a fucking brunch? Like, what are we talking? I think most of it's going to be an evening, and I need to cater it to my schedule, right? So, I mean, I can't be just completely retarded. Like, I work weekends, so it's got to be like, hey, like Friday night, I'm off Saturday. That's perfect. But it's like, yeah, I got to make sure. Oh, nice view. Cute. I got to make sure I come first, right, in the group. And like I said, I'm very tempted to make it. I might make it here in 10 minutes. It's just, I just haven't figured out the naming convention yet, because it's important. It's the first thing someone sees, right? They just see that in the list of like random groups. They're just like, hey, that looks interesting, and they'll join in naturally. But like I said, it's just like the money is going to be, it's not necessarily a problem, but it's like 20-30 bucks a month, man. And it's like, that's a lot of money if I want to put that down. But I also want to make it so my friends can join, and a lot of my friends are in relationships, so I can't put singles night. You know, Wingman, the Wingman and Wing Lady one, that's a group that I know, which is fairly successful. It's nice because you don't have, it's a little less intensive, right? You can kind of just be like, hey, like, I can just kind of join that. But, you know, at the same time, I'm not saying I wouldn't mind an avenue to be like, hey, like, you know, we'll see. But, yeah, so I don't know. So we're going to make the group. You know, I was totally going to do one, like, new in the city, too. Maybe start getting people that are new into the area and be like, hey, like, I can teach you some stuff and get you to meet people. And, you know, I don't know if I want to go that far, though. I don't want to run more than one. But one being like, hey, like, I just want some friends to go do something with. Because most of them are in relationships, and I also don't know that many people up in Halifax, which would be a great idea. So yeah, on that note, we hit up about the 11-minute mark here, so we're just going to cut that baby short. And yeah, sorry for the rambling there, but that's been the video. So thank you so much for tuning in, appreciate it. And honestly, I think I'm actually literally going to go get another 2 minutes down the road and thank you, and then we're gonna maybe make that meetup. So yeah, cheers, thank you, thanks for watching, thank you.